That's what he's saying. The meme comes sukoon before every letter in the alphabet. This is what the line means. Say it again. What this line means, وَالْمِيمُ إِن تَسْكُنْ تَجِي قَبْلَ الْهِجَاءِ, means that when the meme, when it comes second, it will appear before all the letters. Why is it important that he makes this point? Because what we're doing, what did I tell you earlier when we did the beginning of Usul al-Tafsir, we mentioned, and Usul al-Tajweed, we mentioned that Tafsir, Qira'ah, and Tajweed, they all mix together, right? Ilm al-Quran is tied to Tajweed. Because from the ulum, from the sciences of the Quran, is learning how to recite it the way it was revealed. And also learning how the letters come. You become knowledgeable, you become familiar with everything about this book, about this Quran, right? And also in the science of Qira'ah, it tells you which letters come ta maftuha, which ones come ta maburta. It's very detailed. We call it rasmi, how the Quran is written. A lot of students these days don't want to sit for these lessons because you can't go giving fatwas with it. You can't, there's nothing you could, you can brag about to it. You got to sit down and do it. And it takes time, consistency. However, this is part of the rasmul of the Quran because he's telling you now, meme, when it comes sakina, and if it comes second, it comes before all the letters, except one. La alifin layyinatin lidhil hijah. He says, except no alif layyina. What is alif layyina? This is a term now. There's a term called alifun layyina. And I'm putting a box over it because I don't want to underline. Okay? It's called alifun layyina. What's the word called? Alif al-layyina. What does layyina mean? We went over this. We said lean. We spoke about lean. When you learned the alphabet, I taught you this term is called lean. Okay? It's from the sifat. Lean, everybody say this word. Lean. Lean is when you have what we call diphthongs in English. You have the ow sound or you have the a sound. Okay? Say ow. Ow. A. You practice it in the Quran when you say khawf or bait. Those ayat right there because it mentions that. So this is when the alif of the waw or the ya, they come layyina, easy. Right? Allah tells us, تَقُولُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا لَعَلَّهُ. I forget the rest of the ayah. وَمَنْ سَنِي إِلَّا شَيْطَانٍ. Musa was told to speak to Fir'aun with a light word, easy word. Okay? So that Fir'aun might remember and come back. So alif al-layyina is the alif, just like the waw and ya that come in the same style, lean, when the alif comes with a fatha before it. Okay? This is called layyina. Because remember, when you did the alphabet, the first letter, the alif, it only comes after fat, only following a fat. Alif does not have its own sound. It only shows up after a fat. That's the rule. There are exceptions, or shows up at the ends of words right before they crash, but that's another thing. But the first rule that we learned about alif is that it always shows up after what? Fat. And we mentioned also, again, sidebar over here, that alif is a term that represents what? It represents alif and it also represents what? Hamza. How many hamzas? Two types of hamza. What does this sign right here mean? What is that sign? It's an ayn, right? It's an ayn. What is this sign right here? A sad. It's a sad. Why did they come like that? Because this ayn from the word what? Qata'i, right? And this is the ayn from what? Wasli. All right? You get that? Wasl means to join. So you put the sad. Qati means to cut it. So you have that. So when you recite this, whenever you see this one, you say a-i-u. It cuts into the word, right? And when you see this one, it joins. You just join it. And it rides upon the alifun, the waw, and even yeah. That's with the hamza, right? But we call it alif. So alif is itself and also hamza. Alif is itself and also hamza. Well, hamza is itself, not else. That's it. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. That's it, not else, just Hamza, Hamza. And he says Hamza, Hamza, why? Because it's Hamzatul Qata'i and Hamzatul Wasli. You see how if you memorize one lesson, it helps you in the other one? Okay, that's that right there. So, That's what we're talking about with regards to the Hamza and the Hamza to the Wasli and Hamza to Qat'i. When we're dealing with the Alif, it only comes after Fatha. Right? So if that's the case, there cannot be no Mim or Sakina before an Alif, can there? Now before an Alif Layyina. Can there be? You guys follow me or don't follow me? I didn't think this was difficult because if Mim is Sakin, Mim comes Sakin right here, then there's an Alif. Can there be an Alif there? Why? Because Alif can only come before a what? A Fatha. And if it's Fatha, then it's not Mim Sakin, is it? So that's why he says, La alif layyina lidhil hijah. Dhil hijah means the one who got an intellect. Smart guy. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Dhil hijah means dhul aql, the one who has an intellect. Whoever can think can know that we're not talking about alif layyina when we mention al hijah. Everybody follow me in this right here, or did I go too quick? Wow. So, let me repeat it one more time, okay? والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف لينة لذي الحجاء. He says the meme, when it comes sakina, it comes before every letter. Okay? It comes for every letter. It comes before ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha. Okay? All dal, dhal, ra, zay, sin, shin, sad, dad, ta, dha, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, nun, ha, wa, ya. La alif and layyina. You notice we didn't say alif. It doesn't come, however, before alif and layyina. What is alif and layyina? The alif that comes with a fatha before it. Okay? And this should be well known to the one who has hijah, has an intellect, who can think. Okay? He's not saying you're ignorant. I mean, we are ignorant, but he's not disrespecting anybody in this line. He's saying if you think about it, it can't be alif layyina. That's the only point that he's making here. Okay? Let me do this again. You see, if mim comes sukoon, it comes before dal, dhal, ra, zay, sin, right? Sheen, and all the other letters, ila akhirihi. Okay? But if it's sukoon, it won't come before alif, because alif layyina is the alif that comes before alif that comes with a fatha before it. And that means there's a counter introduction here. That means we're saying an oxymoronic statement. If this alif layyina is an ibarah, an expression of an alif that comes with a fatha before it, and the meme is meme sakina, meaning the letter meme with a sukoon over it, there is no way these two can come together, ever. Does that make more sense like that? Okay, so I swam through that pretty cool. Jazakallah khair. You know, my teacher used to say that your students are your teachers because they teach you how to teach. They teach you what makes sense. It may make sense to people who already know it, but you ain't trying to talk it to them. You got to explain it to people who don't know it and then get to know it. So everybody's clear on that, right? Okay, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Ibrahim. Takhir jiddan. Aish. Help me out, man. لا صلي ركعتين. Okay. والميم إن تسكن تجي قبل الهجاء لا ألف اللينة الذي الحجاء. That's the first line right here. أحكامه ثلاثة لمن ضبط. The next line goes as such. أحكامها. What am I saying? Okay, I'll read my notes. What I wrote, I said this line means that the mim sakina will come before every letter in the alphabet except aliful layyina. And this is because aliful layyina only comes before letters that carry fatha. Also, the alif is called layyina or relenting because it sounds relents to whatever the preceding letter is. For example, ma, la, tha. Each has an aliful layyina in its construction, and in each the alif sound relents or gives in to the sound of the letter before it. Now, I'm not going to put that on the board because that is just something lugatan that really doesn't, linguistically, that really doesn't really make a point for us right here.